just about ready now to do the carpet. When I installed the exhaust and a bunch of other stuff under the car, I put like self-tapping screws, hex head self-tapping screws to install a lot of that stuff, knowing that later I'd come back. So I came back yesterday and today and replaced like self-tapping screws that used to be sticking out here or here or here, back there. Pulled them out, drilled through, put in a 1/4 inch stainless steel bolt with a lock nut and washer and everything on the underside. So those things are a little more secure. Some of the lighter weight ones, like the some clamps for fuel line or brake line or whatever, those are self-tapping screws and will stay as self-tapping screws. The ones that penetrated further than what I wanted, I cut them off and ground them down. So they're generally flush with the sound mat. They're still fully through the metal and will hold, I hope, forever. My old mounting holes for the driver's and passenger seat, I originally had them mounted 4.5 inches further forward than the permanent location, and in an effort to try to use the mounting locations that were originally used in the car, but that didn't work. It put me too close to the steering wheel. I felt like I was in a go-kart. So that's, I moved them back and I covered up those holes. On that side, I still have to do these 4 holes right here, which I'm about to do. But the whole purpose of this is to get the interior ready to be covered with upholstery, which I'm still working on. So the name of the game now is get the carpet in and test fit the center console one more time, just to see if I have to trim a little off the top of the center console where it comes up under the dash, due to the thickness of the carpet and the backing. And if I do, it's an easy project. If I did it after the fact, it would be an impossible project. So I'm gonna go get the carpet and we'll try that after I cover these holes. And this isn't exactly wasted time because I need to install the carpet anyway, which means I need to cut out for the shifter. I thought my carpet might come with a hole for my dimmer switch, but it doesn't, so I'm going to figure out a good mounting location for the dimmer switch, go ahead and mount it. And the front piece of carpet starts somewhere right in here under the seat. So you fold that thing in half, set it down, and get it generally at the front of the seat platform, which I've lowered my seat platform, so I'm going to have to sort that out when I install it. But at least it'll give me the starting point, the bottom of the seat platform, and that'll tell me as I roll it where I need to cut it for the shifter. And I'll cut it as small as possible, knowing that I might have to come back and cut it again, but that's okay. All of this is hidden under the center console, so it's not a huge deal. And this is all weatherproof, and I'm going to put that weatherproof boot under the carpet. So my carpet's just going to be loose up under the center console right there, which would be perfectly fine. The other boot, the leather boot for the shifter, will hide it. So let me go grab the carpet and get going. Alright, so I test fit the carpet in here. Because of the wiring, I went ahead and cut the front piece right down the middle. It's all underneath the center console, so it's going to be fine, and it gave me much more flexibility as far as working it around everything that has to go around. The back piece went in as one full piece. I still have some work to do because I heavily modified the seat platform, so I'm going to have to cut the carpet here like a little T-shape so that the seat platform the rail that the seat track sits on, excuse me, which sticks out beyond the seat platform, so that can come out from the carpet. And then I test fit the center console. So I got all these wires free from the tunnel. They've all been taped there for ever and ever. And now they're all generally loose. So I put the center console in 2 or 3 times, take it out, cut a little. What I'm doing is cutting where it meets up under the dash. At first I couldn't even get it in. The thickness of the carpet, and I got the heavier carpet, like the ultra plush carpet with the heavy backing on it, and so it's thicker than even normal. It's not at all similar to the original carpet, but that's okay for what I'm doing. Anyway, so I first took 3/8 of an inch off it, and then I took another 1/4 inch, and now another 1/4 inch, and I think that's where I want it. So I'm going to stick it back in there and we'll see. Yeah, that's perfect. So that gives me about 1/8 of an inch gap between the bottom of the steel part of the dash and the top of this. So once this is covered with the foam and leather, that 1/8 inch will go away. And it's snug right up against the back seat, like it's just barely rubbing it, so it's perfect. It's all a little bit flexible too, like I can push it down a little further if I want, or when I install it, set it up a little bit, I can move it forward or backward. Right now, when in neutral, I got the shifter, for the most part, right in the center. Really, it's a little bit left of center, but I think that's where it probably needs to be, because the more of the shift pattern is on this side of the relaxed position of this thing. So, and this isn't exactly in the center of the tunnel, and I really wanted the opening in the center of the tunnel. So that all works perfectly. So my next move is, I got a little bit to do to clean up this. I'm going to fill all this with putty, and not that it really needs to be, but just to make it pretty. And then it'll be ready to go to the upholsterer. And so now that I've test fit this, I know what I have to do in order to get this to the upholsterer, and my door panels are all figured out. I just have to install the armrest on the door panel. So I plan on doing that tomorrow. So both of those will be finished, ready to go. The back panels are done, they're ready to go. So I believe that's it. I should be able to get everything to the upholsterer this week and hopefully have it back next week. And while it's gone, I'll install the carpet for real, install the kick panels, put the glove box together, put the dash pad back on, just kind of get everything back together to the extent I can. And then when the center console comes in, should just be about wrapped up with the inside of the car. Oh, the other thing is, I've decided, after just looking at this, I don't know if you can see this, but I've got oval lights that are recessed in here and here. Right, they're not in right now, but the recess is there. I'm going to do 2 more, one right here and one right here. So they're courtesy lights, so when you open the door, all 4 floor areas will be lit up, which I think will be good. So that's it. I'm going to start taking it all back apart again for the millionth time and get it ready to send off. So thanks to Corona, we're all stuck inside, and I'm wrapping up some old videos, one of which is carpet. And I did the carpet quite a while ago. In my experience, carpet is one of those things that you don't really finish it until you finish a bunch of other stuff in the car. You know, it's getting the carpet in the car is only part of it, and then you got to basically deal with the entire perimeter. And there's, on most of the carpet, there's something holding down the entire perimeter. So we can talk about that a little bit. If you saw the previous video, you saw where I just laid the carpet in there, And after that, even though I didn't film it, I had to trim a couple places, basically get it to lay down. And then it just sat there. In fact, I probably even took it out a few times. And it wasn't until I was ready to install the seats permanently and install the center console, like once I got that stuff back and I was really ready to wrap it up, that's when I got serious about the carpet. And even then, there wasn't a ton of stuff to do. It seems pretty straightforward and easy to me. Carpet guys would probably completely disagree and maybe tell me all the reasons why mine was so easy. Because I didn't pay attention to this, that, or the other thing. But in the end, it's carpet, and it's everywhere it's supposed to be, and it's not all chunky, and there aren't big, huge, bubbled up areas or whatever. It fit reasonably well. In my case, I used a 3M. Let me see if I can find it here. I used the 3M contact adhesive. I'm pretty sure this is what I used to put down the carpet. It's been a while. It's just a spray contact adhesive. You spray the carpet and you spray the floor. And it just helps it all, stick where it belongs. So after I got my center console, I was really ready to put it in. I put the carpet back in here, and then I folded back pieces, sprayed it, laid it back down, got it all right, and went around and trimmed it as I did that. I used some good shears, like upholstery shears, or a really sharp utility knife. But I trimmed it knowing that like this sill plate, let me scroll down a little bit here. So knowing that this was going to be holding down the edge of the carpet, so my carpet was long and sticking up over the edge of the door sill, so I cut it flush with that, made sure it was glued down reasonably well there, and then this thing attaches on there and really holds it down. These kick panels, they do the same thing. They hold down the carpet all across the edge of the kick panel. There's nothing across the top that holds the carpet down. So it's just sitting up there, and you could reach up in there and peel it back if you wanted. It's got glue on it, but it's not really going anywhere. The biggest problem I had, if you'd even consider it a problem, is that, as I mentioned in an earlier video, I moved my seats back because I just needed a little more leg room, and these seats don't really go in this car. As a result, this seam, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, this seam between the front and the rear carpet is right here. So I installed a piece of 1.5 wide aluminum plate, or a bar, like bar stock, just in front of the seat, like in front of the seat runners, and bolted through the floor of the car. And it's really just to hold that those two pieces of carpet together. They're not glued or anything like that. That's really the only thing that's kind of keeping it right there. And it was just to keep that seam from like flapping up, like if you caught it with the front of the seat or whatever. I don't keep the seat back that far. It's crazy far back. It's very comfortable, but even the tallest of people don't need it back that far. So I usually keep the seat right about there, which covers that up anyway. So it's not really seen. On the back of the car, the carpet goes up under the back seat and just dies somewhere in the, somewhere up under the back seat. You don't really have to, sorry, I'm messing with my camera here. You don't really have to do anything on the back of the car. And then the quarter trims come down over the carpet as well. So that covers everything except the very front, up on the upper part of the firewall. And other than that, everything is holding down the carpet. If you're like me and you've made changes to your car, you're going to have little areas where you're going to have to cut it, and you're kind of seaming your carpet in concealed spaces, but you just glue it and know that it's going to be fine. That's what I did on mine because I lowered my seat platforms. The carpet was molded with a higher step for the seat platform, so I had to trim that and cut some off and glue it back down, and all of that takes place under the seat, so it's not really a big deal. Everywhere else the carpet fit really well. Unfortunately, I can't remember who I bought the carpet from, but I'll try to look that up, and if I can find it pretty easily, I'll put it in the description. And I also bought my floor mats from the same company, so I've got Mustang Cobra floor mats that again, even though it's a 66 Mustang, it's the 99 Mustang Cobra engine. So there's my little Cobra floor mats. But all in all, it went really well. Since we're talking about carpet, I might as well move the camera and show you what I did in the trunk. Alright, so here's my trunk carpet. There's nothing fancy about this. This is just an indoor-outdoor carpet that came from Lowe's. It's a black. Match-wise, it goes pretty well with the carpet in the car because it's black also. But if you hadn't seen previous, or if I hadn't mentioned it previously, the trunk floor I flattened out. So I've got plywood pieces on both sides, and then this plywood panel here. You can take out a couple screws and lift this panel up to get at the gas tank. And then if you've seen my electrical videos, you know that all the electrical is underneath this. So I've got a couple of these fasteners just holding it in, and this panel slides out, and then this is the engine wiring harness, the chassis wiring harness, the computer, the data port. So and it's carpeted all under that stuff, but I just built this thing to sort of protect it, so that when I have stuff in the trunk, it's not rolling around bumping into, like snapping off a relay or something like that. Everything in here is, for the most part, removable. I mean, a couple of screws and most everything comes right out. And all this carpet is direct glue down. Like I said, pretty inexpensive, and the whole purpose was just to clean it up, give me some space to store some amount of luggage, and possibly even a I'm thinking about putting a spare tire in here. I'm certainly going to mount a toolkit just for the car that will sit back in here, and beyond that, I'll just have to wait and see what else I can fit in there. But that's the end of the carpet video. Time to move on to another.